Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Business Leaders Podcast. My name is Justin Tichinell, and today we're joined here by Matt Deli Delicâte. Thanks for joining, Deli.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Justin. Great to be here.
Deli is the VP of North American Sales at Spiideo, and he's born in Kent, England, raised in Wales. Deli came to America for college, where he shattered records at VCU and became an NCAA All-American in soccer, and then went on to build a legendary professional career with the Richmond Kickers in the USL. And he actually still is the club's all-time leading scorer with over 150 goals. Now Deli leads North American sales for Spiideo, which is the sports tech company automating how games are captured, streamed, and analyzed. Spiideo is a global leader in sports video analysis and production. They're a part of over 6,000 installations. These venues include teams within the English Premier League, the NHL, NBA, and numerous other top leagues and teams across the world. So Spiideo is truly helping teams, leagues, and schools bring that top level pro video and data to every single sport. So again, Deli, really appreciate you being on the show today.
Yeah, no, thanks. Great to be here. Appreciate it.
Obviously, like we just said, you had a standout career at VCU and into your professional days at in the USL. Um, what drove your transition into sports tech? And the second part of that, how did you find your way into leading sales for Spiideo within North America?
Yeah, I think I finished playing in 2016 and started just a local business with a teammate of mine that we were doing youth sports filming just really for player development. And so we're using kind of I found a couple of iPods at the local club that I worked for. We pulled out those iPods and started recording some games, and we used a platform called Dartfish to do some like tagging and analysis. And it was quite comprehensive at the time, so it wasn't. I wouldn't say that you had many youth soccer players getting like video analysis. Companies like Veo didn't exist back then. And within a year of doing that, we got connected with a customer that had gone out to Sweden at the Gothia Cup, saw Spiideo, came back and said, "Hey, you guys are both doing sports video in a way. I thought I'd connect you guys." So we got a demo by their only sales guy, by Spiideo's only salesperson, Andreas Jordson, who's a fantastic coach. He's worked across the Premier League at Manchester United, Arsenal, Brentford, and a few other clubs. And he showed us the platform. At the time, it was just an iOS app, and we were kind of blown away by what we were looking at. We were like, "This is kind of like I'd never seen anything like it as a professional or college player." So we basically began reselling it, and we signed a couple of big names. We signed UVA, Wake Forest, Duke Soccer. So we were signing like top Division One soccer programs. VCU, my former team as well. So got some really good traction and signed maybe 30 customers, including the Tampa Bay Rowdies of the USL. And at the time, I guess we didn't even realize how early it was for Spiideo. I think they had maybe 12 to 15 people and didn't have that many customers at the time. So it was kind of brand new for them. And all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, we're getting some real traction in North America, so we're gonna hire somebody full time." So that's when they brought in my former boss, Nate Winkle, who'd been in the sports tech world. He'd worked at Catapult and a few other GPS providers, and so he'd been selling into kind of like elite and professional teams. And after Nate came in, he signed myself and Nate Schiffman full time, and that kind of just got the whole thing going. And within a short period, we signed the USL, which was a big league deal. And with us signing these big soccer programs, we found that there was a need for other sports. So if you we signed a soccer program, well, field hockey and lacrosse and other sports also needed a way to capture practice automatically and have live video on the bench. So that quickly snowballed, and now I think we have a presence in nearly every single Division One institution in some form or fashion. Some of them with lots of, at least half a dozen sports. And then we also got some major traction across Major League Soccer. So we have, I believe, installations in all but one Major League Soccer stadium, and then we're the preferred training ground provider for at least 20 of the teams, where they outfit the entire training training field with multiple cameras and multiple angles so they can capture everything down through their academy and like reserve teams. So yeah, so that was kind of the journey, and I was an individual contributor for several years, and then my boss took over like a global VP role, which enabled me to then take over the North American team, and then we brought in some new leadership about 2 years ago. My former boss moved on to another company called PlayerMaker, and and Martin Murbeck came in as our CCO. He helped scale Trustpilot from around 100 people to 1,000 in an IPO. So he came into Spiideo at a similar time, and is kind of like helping take us on this new journey, basically. So which we're about 2 years into now, and yeah, it's been very exciting. We've got some aggressive kind of growth goals coming off the back of our best quarter in history in North America, Q2. So I actually signed the same amount of revenue in Q2 that we did for the entire 2024. So it's been really exciting. And yeah, we just opened our first office location in Philadelphia. So now we've got like official kind of boots on the ground. We have remote staff all over the country, but now we'll actually start recruiting into our head office a lot more, which I kind of spearhead in Center City, Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's amazing, Deli. And one of the cool things that I just took away from your experience is that you obviously transitioned from a player, use your experience as a player to start something new yourself. And I did not know that. That's really interesting that you started your own youth sports analysis platform, and that's how you kind of got started within the world. And I think it's really interesting to hear how people use their previous experiences into new, bigger opportunities. And it definitely sounds like that experience has served you well now in your experience at Spiideo. So with that said, I mean, you just mentioned it there. You guys are working with literally thousands of teams and venues worldwide, and it sounds like you guys are growing rapidly from the Premier League, top universities. Really cool how you're working with. I think you said almost every major Division 1 program in the country, which is fantastic. So, what makes Spidio's like AI powered platform so attractive to these top programs, do you think?
Yeah, I think we have a camera system portfolio which is quite comprehensive. So a lot of other providers out there may only have one or two cameras to their name, and we have over 20. So we can really accommodate like every type of playing surface, indoor, outdoor, any type of rink, and we can set up really nice like multi-angle setups across those. Once you do that, there's a multi-functionality component to what we can deliver. So there's live tactical video for the coaches and players, and then those multiple angles can be leveraged for like officiating. So there's like a VAR solution. We recently signed the Southland, which will cover at least half a dozen sports. So the officials will have, I think it's for American football, volleyball, soccer, baseball, basketball, and so the officials will use Spiideo for the in-game review. So if you're watching a game and there's a contentious call, they'll be getting on the Spiideo system to review that call and get it right. And then the other two areas are obviously performance analysis, which was the original core of what we brought to the table. So coaches being able to record practice automatically and have, if they want a live feedback loop to their players, they can literally have an iPad in practice or put it up on the wall, and show players to help kind of break bad habits and reinforce what they should be doing. And then where we've put a lot of resources in the last 2 years has been our Spiideo Play product, which is automated live streaming or being able to tap into the different angles to use in your broadcast. So it's really, if you think about anywhere like a video is needed in like elite sports, we're kind of checking all the boxes from that standpoint. Um,
Yeah, so yeah, just curious too. Is it as simple as just pressing the button when you say the automatic video to get started?
Yep, it really is like I think I had a post. This was probably 5, 6 years ago, but You literally, if you're a coach, you would go out on the field, you open up your iPhone, you tap a button, and all your cameras turn on and are synchronized, and then you have the ability to then share that to anybody in your organization. So, coach might be out of town, out of the country, he can still actually watch practice and even tag some plays and coordinate, with his staff remotely if he wanted to do that. And the same for the officials, they can access any of the angles. uh, what we call the Spiideo experience, which is the actual viewing experience in Spiideo, is very unique. If you're on your tablet, you can pinch and zoom into the video, move it around. So it's not like traditional video where what the camera sees is what you get. Like Spiideo actually has this kind of interactiveness with it. And that's another reason why I think the referees love it because they can literally kind of pinch into details to see. So if you need to see if there's a knee down or a ball's out of play, they can interact with the video rather than just what they've been used to, which is just kind of like looking at what that camera lens has captured.
Yeah. And it's really nuts how things have changed so quickly over the past 10 years. I graduated from high school in 2017 and I was a football player and we obviously used Huddle at the time. All this technology that you're talking about now was not available even when I was in college. I played at Gettysburg College, graduated from there in 21, and that it was totally different even back then. So it's just crazy to believe how quickly things are changing. And I think it's just going to get quicker as technology advances.
No, absolutely. And it filters downstream too, because like I said, 6, 7 years ago, it was uncommon for even like a professional soccer team, like Major League Soccer team, to have a full automated setup on their training ground. And now, if you fast forward with companies like Veo and some other camera providers out there, it's like at the youth level, it's probably strange now. If you're playing at like an elite youth level, if you're not getting video, that's probably not the norm anymore. So, and that certainly wasn't the case a few years ago. And now with the video being captured, there's going to be data and there's media rights involved and other things. So it's definitely a lot different than it was a few years back. So it's going to be super interesting to see what the next few years brings.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, from that media lens standpoint, Deli, you obviously talk about using these tools for all different levels of sport, whether it be schools, clubs, smaller leagues. How are these schools or universities, clubs using the performance data um, and the streaming to not only just improve their own steps, but also to monetize the content and engage fans?
No, good question. I mean, so from the streaming standpoint, there's a couple of there's a couple of ways to look at it. There are some that actually struggle to stream games at all. So they maybe they just don't have the ability, they don't have the funds, they don't have the manpower. So you've got that one category, and then you may have some that are doing it in like at a small degree, but would like to make it better. So for the ones that don't have any streaming, like Spiideo can certainly empower them because now you at the touch of a button can turn it on and stream it to your fans and you don't need anybody to operate it. If you wanted to do commentating, you can have someone actually do that remotely, so they don't even need to be on site. So the cloud, leveraging the power of the cloud. And then if you've got someone maybe doing like a pretty basic one angle broadcast, Spiideo can now turn that into like a 3 or 5 angle broadcast and kind of more like ESPN Plus level without adding any more people. So it's still one person can operate like a 3, 5 angle shoot, leveraging like the automatic cameras. So now you can like really enhance the broadcast and make it a lot better for the fans. There was actually a recent game in the USHL where I think it was playing on Flow Sports, and they scored a goal with zero point 0.1 seconds left on the clock. The play went on to Sports Center top 10, number one actually, but the broadcasting team only had one angle for the goal. So it was a bit unfortunate because there were like half a dozen Spiideo cameras that we knew were being used for the officials, but we had the shot of the puck crossing like literally an inch over with zero point 0.1 seconds. So that was a perfect example of that type of shot needs to be in the broadcast for the fans. So when that played on Sports Center, they should have been leveraging that feed. So that's like a perfect example of taking like a one angle shoot. Let's make it five and make the broadcast way better for, for the fan at home.
Yeah. And just thinking about how things have progressed recently, I went back to my high school recently, and part of their video analysis for the football team there was also having a drone. Like, so you can see from above the practice, you can see all these multi angles. And I think from what you guys are doing at Spiideo, it's really interesting to hear about the different use cases for the different angles of the video. Um, Now, with all this said, and we've been alluding to the how things are progressing within sports tech and the future of Spiideo and sports video over the next few years. Um, Spiideo, you guys have recently just closed a $20 million round of funding, and you've raised over 40 million over the past, I guess, since you've started in 2012. What excites you the most about where this industry is heading? And then with that said, how do you see AI, automation, continuing to reshape everything that we just said here?
Yeah, I mean, the first part is like I think we're in an exciting industry because sports is clearly one of the last kind of true places where you can go and still get like live action. In the day, the new days of social media and whatnot, I think you can see how even just the media rights of these leagues, how they continue increasing, like how valuable they are across all the different leagues. Also, really exciting to see the growth of women's sports in general. The fact that my dad talks about watching like the England women now, like he that wouldn't have happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago. So seeing the growth of women's sports is really exciting. I think yeah, it's really about making a more immersive experience for the fan. So I think that and that's what you're seeing is like being able to provide live data and insights and maybe more like snippets for the fans that maybe don't want to watch the full 2 hour game, but just want to kind of consume little bite sizes things that's kind of uh, curated for them. And then and with the improvement of technology, that does filter downstream. So like I wouldn't be surprised. Like I wouldn't say it's common that you have replay review for a high school game, but a technology like Spiideo and being affordable can make that a reality. So you could have, maybe your playoffs now at the high school level will actually have the ability to review a call, which probably would never have happened in the past. So I think technology enables it downstream. It's not just reserved for the major leagues. So yeah, it's just going to be interesting with video and data and trying to empower I think the players as well because as a former athlete I think you're if you're serious about wanting to play at the next level you do have to take a lot of it on yourself. 'Cause showing up to practice a couple times a week doesn't cut it. It's like what you do at home, it's what you do in your backyard, and I think technology will also enable people to have that kind of like self drive and to go improve. So I think that yeah, that it's going to be a combo of like merging video and data both for like an athlete and for the fan to have like the best experience possible.
Yeah, and talking about what you said there with the athletes, it's crazy to think now. You can't really lie. Everybody's using data to validate what they're doing right now. So, back in high school, even when I was there, people would always say, "Yeah, the eye in the sky never lies." But it's even more exaggerated, I think, at this point, where you have the multi angles, everything's tracked. Every high school, it seems like, has some type of wearable technology that plays into the video tech somehow. So it's really exciting, Deli. Just to
And it's
hear.
no, it's interesting you say that too because one of the interesting things about Spiideo, like I mentioned, because we capture the whole surface, it can be very event focused. Like especially data can be event focused, and there is actually what's called the non-occurrence of data, which is important too. And the example I think was Alex Ferguson, who was regarded as one of the best football soccer managers ever. saw that one of his defenders was making less tackles and got concerned. His name was Yap Stam, and he ended up selling him. And later to come, it was a mistake, and he was making less tackles because he was positioning himself better. So it's because he had more experience and I actually was making less tackles because what he was where he was moving on the field was smarter, and so an example of using data in the wrong way. So what's interesting with Spiideo is like this not the idea of non-occurrence. So it's like the action might be happening over here, but in Spiideo you can pan around and look, and I can look at the left back while the ball is 50 yards away and see what he's moving, like where he or she is moving. So it's super interesting because this concept of like non-occurrence data is also important, and maybe you know a player can go in and watch what's happening while they're not actually touching the ball, while it's like small little moments, and all of those make a huge difference too. So just something
For
for
sure.
people
And
to
it's
think about. Yeah.
yeah, I think that goes into the concept of taking mental reps. If you're watching so much video, um, you know, just drawing from my own experience, we would watch video of everything, practice, games, and I feel like just the more you can enable the athlete with different data points, with different resources, I think it only just continues to help drive the athlete forward and make everybody better. Because I think at the end of the day, that's the whole point of technology is to not only help the athlete, but to drive the game forward, which is I think what Spiideo is doing here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it's been really exciting, and so yeah, people ask me a lot, do I miss playing? And I think it's awesome. I'm still involved with the game, so yeah, and we're part of a team. So I think it's super interesting being part of like a SaaS tech company because we really do see ourselves as a team, and so coming from like a sports team to now a sports tech company has been really exciting, and but trying to build a great culture for people to come and have like an exciting career.
Yeah, this is awesome, Deli. Really appreciate you sharing. How can the audience stay in touch with you and Spiideo?
Yeah, obviously our website, spiideo.com. I think we're on a few of the channels you'll see, Instagram and whatnot. But yeah, you can find us on LinkedIn and our website. And yeah, we have a presence now in Philadelphia. So obviously, if anyone's in Philly and wants to learn more about sports tech, then get in touch with us.
Yeah. And, we've seen you at a few events, Deli, so we'll, hopefully see you sometime soon at one of these SBL events.
Yep, no, looking forward to continue to meet new people and network. You have a great initiative, and I think the all the sports business people across the area really thankful for what you guys are doing.
Yes, sir. Awesome, Deli. Thanks again.
All right, thank you.